Hello, I'm Steve Kunkel, and I'm here today to explain the symbolism in our crosses. Shortly after we moved into this church, we had an artist make our altar, our ambo, and a processional cross. And in our processional cross, the artist chose to use a brass plate and then cut out these shapes, which are houses. That's what each of these is supposed to be, is a house. There are 12 houses. 12 is sort of a special number within our church. There's one house for each of the tribes of Israel, the tribes being the descendants or family of Abraham, who was the father of our faith. There's also 12 apostles that Christ had. This symbolism is a symbolism of family and of community, which is a wonderful symbolism for our church community and our parish members. You can see that we have some houses point inward and some houses point outward, symbolizing that we minister both to each other within our community as well as reaching out to our broader community to minister to them as well. This sense of community and family is also very key in that it is through our families that we have the central structure that we pass on our faith, minister to each other, and experience God's love. It is that same symbolism of the houses that is carried over into our wooden cross. And again, there are 12 houses. And in this cross, the cross is sort of central in our church. And so the houses are made so that they are visible from all sides, so that all members of our parish feel that they are called to participate in this community. The houses are inset into the cross to represent how ingrained this nature of community and family is to our church, and how connected we are to our faith through this cross. These insets also make the inner cross, and it is surrounded by this sense of family and community that we have Christ at our center. And it is Christ from that center then that ministers to those houses that point inward, and then we in turn minister to the houses that point outward, representing our broader community. You can't see it right now because of Lent, but our cross is turned around and we don't have the corpus up. But the corpus is a risen Christ, not a crucified Christ. So in this space, we made it more three-dimensional, and the cross, or the corpus, is raised and separated from the cross to represent the resurrection and glorification of our Christ. And yet, there are holes in the cross, nail holes. Those nail holes represent the suffering and death of our Christ and our salvation that we get through that suffering and death. So it is in this cross that we have this tension and contrast between the glorified Christ and the suffering Christ that died for us. This contrast between heaven and hell, and this contrast between the suffering servant that died for us and the Christ that is glorified and was integral to the entire making of our universe. And that is the symbolism of our cross.